What the hell? Get away from that display! You people always looking for something to steal?
I'm sorry, sir. I just wanted to read.
Read? Don't play games with me, kid. Homeless thugs don't read ancient languages. You probably can't even spell your own name. Now get out before I drag you out.
Thomas Webb's hand clamped on Elijah's shoulder. Rough. Public. Like grabbing a strayed dog. Dr. Sinclair's assistant walked past. She saw the whole thing. Kept walking. Elijah held a crumpled flyer. The museum seeks volunteer translators, all languages welcome. Nobody looked twice. Inside, 12 PhDs surrounded a document worth $200 million. Ancient script. Impossible to decode. The answer was in the hands of the boy they just humiliated. Have you ever dismissed someone's potential before they even opened their mouth? The delivery truck arrived at 7:15. Elijah slipped through the loading dock while Webb argued with the driver about paperwork. He followed the voices, urgent, frustrated, coming from the third floor. The conservation lab door stood half open. Elijah stopped in the doorway. 12 people crowded around a glass case, scholars in expensive clothes, 3 faces on video screens. Everyone is staring at a single piece of parchment under UV light. The document looked ancient, brown, cracked, covered in symbols that seemed to dance in the lamplight. "We have 48 hours. The woman speaking had gray hair and coffee stains on her white lab coat. Dr. Margaret Sinclair. Her voice carried the weight of someone who'd stopped sleeping. 48 hours before the Egyptian delegation arrives. This contract determines ownership of artifacts worth $200 million. A younger man, expensive watch gleaming, leaned closer. Dr. Sinclair, the symbols don't match any known Coptic dialect we've cataloged. I can see that, Marcus. Her jaw tightened. On the largest screen, a man with thick glasses spoke. Dr. Ramon Ortiz. Margaret, I've run it through every database. The syntax is completely irregular. It's like they invented their own commercial shorthand. Another voice from a different screen. Could be a forgery. It's not a forgery. Dr. Sinclair's tone ended that discussion. The papyrus dates to 4th century. We've confirmed that. We just can't read what it says. Silence filled the room, the kind of silence that costs careers. Elijah's eyes moved across the document. His lips moved silently. Reading. The symbols made sense. Perfect sense. Like reading his native language. It wasn't pure Coptic. It was Sahidic mixed with Judeo-Aramaic commercial abbreviations, the kind merchants used along the Nile trade routes. He'd read about this exact dialect structure in a book 3 years ago, page 94. He could still see the page. Jennifer, the assistant, glanced toward the door, saw him. "Security!" Her voice cut through the room. "There's someone..." Elijah didn't think. The words just came out. "It's not Coptic. It's Sahidic mixed with Judeo-Aramaic commercial shorthand." Every head turned. They saw a skinny black kid in an oversized jacket, 15 years old, standing in a room where he absolutely did not belong. The room went silent. Not the comfortable silence of thinking. The shocked silence of a pattern breaking. Dr. Ortiz leaned toward his camera. "That's actually theoretically possible, but it's a 20-second guess from someone who..." His eyes traveled up and down Elijah. The worn sneakers, the too big jacket, the way the kid stood like he was ready to run. "Someone untrained." "Who what, Ramon?" Dr. Sinclair's voice had an edge. Ortiz backpedaled. "Someone without formal credentials." Marcus, the younger curator, crossed his arms. "Dr. Sinclair, how did this kid even get in here?" "I'm standing right here." Elijah's voice was quiet. "I can hear you." "Doctor." Sinclair turned. Her eyes met Elijah's, sharp, assessing, not dismissive. "How old are you?" 15, ma'am." Murmurs rippled through the room. Someone laughed. not a kind laugh. 15, Marcus repeated. This is what we're doing now? Listening to teenagers off the street? Where did you learn about Sahidic Aramaic hybrid scripts? Dr. Sinclair ignored Marcus completely. Elijah shifted his weight. I read about it. In a book. Which book? Kaufman's Comparative Analysis of Semitic Trade Languages. The library had it in the reference section. Dr. Sinclair's eyebrows went up. That book was graduate level. Dense. Most PhD students struggled with it. You read Kaufman? Yes, ma'am. The whole thing? Yes, ma'am. Another scholar, older woman with silver hair, shook her head. Margaret, this is absurd. We're wasting time. But Dr. Sinclair kept her eyes on Elijah. Can you read any of this document? Marcus stepped forward. Doctor. Sinclair, we can't seriously... I asked him a question, Marcus. Her tone could have frozen water. Elijah, can you read it? Elijah's hand trembled as he approached the case. The smell hit him first. Chemical preservatives, old leather, the scent of history. His sneakers squeaked on the marble floor. Too loud. Everyone heard. The other scholars stepped back, creating distance, like he carried something contagious. His finger hovered over the glass. Careful not to touch. Line 3. His voice was barely above a whisper. It says, between the merchant Theophilus and the temple administrator. Dr. Ortiz started typing frantically. Wait! Stop! His face went pale. The fragment we already confirmed, the merchant's name. He's right. How is he right? A younger woman pulled up reference texts on her tablet, scrolling fast. Elijah continued. It's a loan agreement. They're using abbreviated syntax. Traders along the Nile Red Sea route used these shortcuts to save papyrus. See this symbol? He pointed to a mark everyone had assumed was decorative. That means guaranteed by goods in transit. The silver-haired scholar leaned in, studied the symbol. Her face changed. My God, that's not a decorative flourish. Dr. Sinclair removed her glasses, cleaned them slowly, put them back on, looked at the document, looked at Elijah. What's your name? Elijah Carter, ma'am. Where did you study ancient languages, Elijah? I didn't study anywhere. I just read. A lot. Where are your parents? The question hit like a fist. Elijah's eyes dropped. His jaw tightened. Dr. Sinclair saw it. The flinch, the pain. She didn't push. Instead, she slid another document across the table. Demotic Egyptian. Different script entirely. What about this one? Elijah looked. His eyes moved across the lines. Fast. Tax receipt. 26th Dynasty. The taxpayer is complaining about the assessment rate. Says the provincial administrator is corrupt. A scholar laughed. Nervous. High-pitched. Another looked like he might be sick. Marcus pulled out his phone. Started researching. Trying to fact-check a homeless teenager in real time. Dr. Ortiz's voice came through the speaker. Margaret, I don't know what's happening right now, but that demotic translation, I just cross-referenced it. He's accurate. Completely accurate. Someone whispered, he's just a kid. Elijah heard it. Everyone heard it. Dr. Sinclair's voice cut through. He's a kid who just did what 12 of us couldn't do in 6 hours. She looked at Elijah, really looked, like seeing him for the first time. Where do you sleep, Elijah? The question hung in the air, heavy, uncomfortable. Elijah didn't answer, didn't need to. Everyone in the room suddenly understood why his jacket was too big. Why were his shoes worn through? Why he'd been on the loading dock at dawn. Dr. Sinclair asked the question everyone was thinking. Where do you sleep, Elijah? The words pulled him backward. 3 years. To when everything still made sense. the public library on 42nd Street. That's where it started. Elijah was 12 when his mother died. Cancer. Fast. 3 months from diagnosis to funeral. His father was already gone. Sentenced to 8 years for a crime he swore he didn't commit. No appeals. No family to take a kid nobody wanted. Foster care lasted 2 months. The family was nice enough, but their son wasn't. And when things went missing, everyone believed the foster kid did it. Elijah learned fast. When you're black and poor and not really theirs, you're always the easy answer. He ran. The library became home. Open until 9, warm, safe, full of books that didn't judge. Mrs. Carter noticed him first, the Korean librarian in her 60s who'd worked reference for 30 years. She saw him memorizing textbooks, entire pages, word for word. "You have hyperlexia, don't you?" She didn't ask loud enough for others to hear. "Photographic memory?" Elijah nodded. "What do you like to read?" "Everything. But I really like the old languages, the dead ones." Mrs. Carter's expression softened. "Why the dead ones?" "Because they can't judge you. They just exist. They're beautiful, and nobody speaks them anymore, so they can't tell you you're not good enough." 27 books. That's how many linguistics texts lived in the library's collection. Elijah read them all, some twice. The words stayed in his head like photographs. Perfect recall, every symbol, every grammatical rule, every footnote. Ancient languages made sense. They had rules, patterns, logic, unlike the world that took his mother and father and any chance at normal. Then the library closed. Renovations, budget cuts. Temporary, they said. 6 months, maybe more. Elijah lost his sanctuary. 6 months of subway platforms, museum steps, shelter beds when available, always moving, always one security guard away from another confrontation. He kept one book, water damaged, spine broken, a discard stamp in red ink. Introduction to Semitic Languages. Some nights when sleep wouldn't come, he'd read it by streetlight, the same pages over and over, remembering when he had a place that wanted him. Now he stood in a room full of scholars who'd gone to the best universities, who had families and homes and health insurance, and he could read what they couldn't. Dr. Sinclair made her decision in 3 seconds. "I need you to stay. Help us finish this translation." Security guard Webb still stood in the doorway, arms crossed. "Dr. Sinclair, is this wise? He's just a kid who broke in." She didn't look at him. "He's more qualified than half the people in this room. I'll take full responsibility." Jennifer, the assistant who'd avoided Elijah that morning, spoke up. "But he's a minor. We need parental consent for anything official. Liability issues." "Then I'll be his guardian for today." Dr. Sinclair's tone allowed no argument. "Get the paperwork." She turned to Elijah. "Are you hungry?" He hesitated, nodded. "Jennifer, order food. Whatever he wants." She pulled a lab coat from the closet, adult size. It hung loose on Elijah's thin frame. "You work here now, temporarily. We'll figure out the rest later." She set a bottle of water and a notepad in front of him, gave him space at the table, between 2 scholars who looked like they'd swallowed glass. The hum of UV lights filled the silence. Pencils scratched as people took notes, from a 15-year-old homeless kid. The absurdity wasn't lost on anyone. Elijah's voice grew steadier as he read, line by line. The contract revealed itself. An agreement between a merchant and a temple, transportation of sacred artifacts, penalties for breach, insurance clauses, witness requirements. His finger traced the symbols, never touching the glass, just following the words like reading a bedtime story. This clause here specifies delivery timeline, 30 days from the new moon, payment in silver, Weighed in the temple, verified by 3 witnesses.